Hello, welcome to Fort Bridger, Wyoming. This fort was established in 1834 by none other than Jim Bridger and Juan Vasquez. The fort was established as a trading area and a stopping place for those traveling around the area, both Native Americans and other trappers and traders. In the 1850s, Jim Bridger had to flee the area because he was being pursued by local Mormon militiamen who had found out he was selling alcohol and ammunition to Native Americans, which at the time was illegal by federal law. After fleeing, the Mormons claimed to have bought the land from Juan Vasquez and had a deed to the land, but the verification may not have been solely true for sure. Anyway, after that, when the Utah War started and President Buchanan sent almost 2,000 troops out to Utah, they were going to stop on their way here. So the Mormons burned the whole fort down before they got here. So when they got here, there was no shelter for them, and they had to spend the first winter in freezing cold temperatures without any shelter at all. That next summer, they rebuilt most of what you see here, or not rebuilt, but established kind of new buildings and things here, which you can see around me. They're all buildings that they built back then and lived in. After the Utah War ended, the government did not give Jim Bridger or the Mormons back the fort, but kept it for themselves, and actually had the fort be a station for the government up until the 1890s. I'm just kind of showing you guys a photo to go. This is actually a grave of a dog that's master was killed in a Indian battle, and the dog actually was on this fort for many years and did quite a bit, stopping thieves and helping out in different ways. I'm just kind of showing you guys the different houses on this location. It's actually a pretty big area, lots and lots of open land. Not all the buildings still stand, and if they don't stand, they actually have some logs that represent where the buildings were and what they were, with little plaques in the front of them. So I'm just showing you guys different areas here. This is actually a replica of the original Fort Bridger that was burned down back when the Mormons burned it before they left. And I'm just going to kind of show you in here. It's locked for right now, and this isn't open to the public yet. It is a tourist site, as you may have already noticed. But this in here is a replica of what they believed Fort Bridger looked like back in 1832 to about 1850s, early 1850s. Now I'll just kind of move you guys around here. This next area that we're going to head to is actually a wall that was built by the Mormons while they were here as an attempt to possibly stop Johnson's army from coming, but instead they decided to flee the area instead of stay here and fight. They kind of just burned some of the wagon trains that came in and of course burned the fort, just tried to stop the army from going forward as best they could. Here's some old houses that are still here. This is actually the guard quarters that turned into a hotel afterwards. I'm assuming that maybe Colonel Johnson stayed here and some other military leaders in that time. After Johnson left, he actually put in care of this facility a man by the name of William Alexander Carter. He's actually buried in the cemetery to my right here. We'll go over there. He actually has the biggest grave. Him and some of his family are buried here because they were put in charge of here and I guess lived the remainder of their days here. So here to my left, that big huge grave there is actually his grave, along with some of his family members to his side, and some others who have died here on the right. And here's the last house on the premises. This here house, you can also go inside in the summertime when it's open. And this is the ranch house, by the way, is what it's called. I don't exactly know what it was used for. I'm assuming people from the troops stayed here. I'm not sure of the whole reason behind it. And the last thing I want to show you is the sundial. The person who made this sundial was a military man here who was then killed by Indians, Modoc Indians, later on. Okay, thanks for watching.